Hey peeps, my name is Naisha and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about a romance club story, Love, Sin, and Evil. Now, I know I did a little bit about it, not too much of it. Um, but I talked about like how there was a news story coming on here called Love, Sin, and Evil. And let's and I'm going to tell you a little bit more. And also I am going to tell you about what I've what I like about it so far. And just there will be spoilers by the way in here. So if you don't want any spoilers and you actually want to play this yourself, you can go ahead and play this on Romance Club. You can either play it on mobile, and they also launch a PC version of this, so you can play this on your laptop and stuff. So yeah. But anyway, Love, Sin, and Evil is the 33rd book released on the mobile game Romance Club. It is an anthology of short stories lasting 6 to 8 episodes each, which is a new format for this platform. Because usually, what Romance Club do, they do seasons, like season 1, season 2, and so forth, so forth. So now we're on volume 1. Basically, it says the plot: a student falls into a trap set by an ancient evil. Now she must risk her soul in a bloody struggle for her life and the lives of her companions. Now, here's the gameplay. Most choices you make for your main character in this story influence one of the following variables: mysticism, logic, and athletics, as well as light or darkness. These choices change the story, the interaction you have with other characters, and the scene you will be able to play. The path of mysticism, is an attempt to embrace magic. The path of logic is an attempt to explain everything with a scientific point of view. The path of athletics involves taking action instead of spending time on contemplation. On the path of light, the main character wants to solve problems, while on the path of darkness, she wants to create them. Now, the main character name is Mina, but you can name her anything you want. I know I decided to name her Xena and stuff after the warrior princess. Okay, I'm done. But anyway, but yeah, the main character name is Mina, but you could change your name to anything you want to change your name to. The love interests are Chad, Sue, Dave Collins, and Tony. Again, because I said earlier this would be, there'd be some spoilers. Well, not some. There would be spoilers. One of the thing is, I played to chapter, episode 4. I played to episode 4. In episode 4, I know because I chose Chad, I can't choose this. But I do know for a fact, because I checked the walkthrough, apparently you could actually romance Courtney and things like that. I'll get more into that character later on, but yeah. So just want to let you know, if you didn't choose any of the love interests that I name, I'm gonna go back to them. They are Chad, Sue, Dave Collins, and Tony. So if you didn't choose those 4, don't worry, you will have a chance to choose another love interest. However, I don't know if you're going to like the love interest because it's Courtney and stuff. So who knows? But yeah, okay, tips about the paths. Light and darkness influence the story's outcome, not only through their apparent meanings, but also through the balance between them. Um, I'll probably get more into this, but I've noticed that, like, with the choices, because I decided to read some, like, I decided to do the walkthrough, and um, I was looking at the choices, and it's like, it seems like you could balance it out. Um, Not sure, like, what's, like, not sure, like, how that's going to be and stuff, but it seems like you can balance the paths out. Okay, now it says higher stats in mysticism, logic, and athletics will help in overcoming challenges. Now, I'm gonna be honest, so far, I have yet, like, I'm gonna be honest, so far, I have yet to see what, like, what's going to happen. Um, I played this because, like I said, I have two accounts and stuff like that. Um, but on the main account, on my main account, I'm on episode 4. As you can see, on this account, I'm on episode 2. But on my main account, I'm on episode 4, and I know I have a lot of which one is it? Mysticism. I have more of that than anything else. So, but I know yeah, I have more of that than anything else. But I'm thinking this one that you see now, I think I might try to see if I could get a balance and stuff. So I think I'm gonna try that. I think I'm gonna try to see if I could get a balance on this one and see, like, what that does. And I make another video if I have to about it. Okay, now we're just gonna get into tips about gameplay. It says this story keeps track of many things that you can't see. It's possible to save everyone, but it won't be easy. Some outcomes are affected not only by the choices you make, but also by the order in which you make them. The characters present at the beginning of the story are not the only possible love interests. Pay attention. Many puzzles have solutions that change each time the chapter is played. The outcome of certain scenes will be influenced by wearing relevant clothing. Sometimes the outfits and accessories you wear can affect how a scene plays out. Your choices affect both the events leading up to the story and the backstories of different characters. And so, yeah, that is basically about um, tips and basically a summary of love, sin, and evil. Okay, now let's get to what you probably are waiting for, and that's, okay, my thoughts and opinions on this. Because, oh my goodness, I do have my thoughts and opinions. First things first, I just want to say that even though I was excited for this book, I wasn't going to read this book anytime soon. Like, I wasn't going to read the story anytime soon. I was actually going to wait until, like, all of it's out, because I'm the type of person, I like to wait until the whole book out. I can't stand when these these mobile game companies be putting out just one or two um chapters of a story and expect that to be enough for us. And baby, I'm not, don't spoon feed me. Give me the whole thing. That's the type of person I am. So I wasn't really going to, I wasn't going to play the story anytime soon. I was actually going to wait. It isn't until I saw Locum 23 playing this, and I was like, okay, let me play this. Only because so I could help him out and stuff. Because, like, I know he was saying some things, and I do have a video that's coming. Well, I have a previous video that I did. I don't know when I'm going to put out. Hopefully, I put it out soon. But there was something about what Locum Twin 3 said about in one of the chapters of Love, Sin, and Evil that kind of stuck with me because it kind of it basically goes for every book, not just Love, Sin, and Evil. But then I was thinking, like, okay, see, I know some of these books, but I don't know much about Love, Sin, and Evil. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and play that. So I played some Ruth. Oh my goodness, child, honey, child. Baby, no, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a fan. I'm not really a fan of horror like that. Like, there are some horror books and stories that I would read or play or watch, but like, it depends on, like, first of all, it depends if I'm like, if someone's like, if I have someone to watch it with me, or like if I'm reading a horror book, if I'm in a like if I'm in the room with one of my loved ones and I'm reading, okay, I feel better. Or like if I'm reading a date, certain stuff like that. So I wasn't sure what to expect from this story and stuff. All I knew was horror, and I was like, okay. Again, I didn't know what to expect from it, and like, I'm gonna be honest, what all the stuff that I read, I ain't pay no attention to it. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't. Like the whole, like, you gotta, like, some people would like either live or die. I ain't paying that no, like, I didn't really care about that. It wasn't until I got to chapter 3 is when I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have, yeah. And the thing about chapter 3 that kind of like gave me the chills was the fact that you go with Tony and Chad. But at first you don't go with Tony and Chad, but Johnny tells you that the only flashlight they have is the one that he has, and he says that Tony and Chad would like basically get lost because it'd be dark. So then your character, she takes the flashlight from Johnny and goes to follow Tony and Chad, and of course you know she goes with them. Now, because I chose Chad as my love interest, because I chose Chad as my love interest, I went with him. Like, I automatically, my character automatically goes with him. And, Tony goes his separate way as well. But before we do go our separate way, there's a room that they go into. And in that room, that's what kind of creeped me out. Because in the room, you see an altar. And then around the altar, you see 7 candles. Now, being the type of person that I am, I was so freaking fixated on the candles, because I was like, 7 candles? What the 7 candles represent? And then I realized, I was like, hold on. Okay, because I was like, okay, first of all, there's Xena, the main character, Chad, Tony, Johnny, Sue, Courtney, and the professor, Mr. Collins. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. You mean tell me those candles represents like the main character and everyone else? Oh hell no. I was like, oh okay. So we serious about this. Okay, so I'm assuming well, yeah, it's to assume that like the candles, because the candles represent them, if the candles go out, basically if they get killed, the candle goes out, and you get more information about like what happens if the candle goes out. And it's like, isn't that lovely? No, it's not lovely. It's not lovely at all. And let me tell you what else isn't lovely. Okay, so in order to keep Tony and Chad alive, because I didn't even know I didn't know it started yet. I did not think it started yet until I was like, you know what? Because I saw the 7 candles, I was like, let me go to the walkthrough, because again, I was like, I don't know anything about this book, and usually with Romance Club, I don't really use the walkthrough and stuff like that. But however, like with this one, again, I decided to use it. And I'm glad I did, because I ain't gonna lie, I would have got Chad and Tony killed right then and there. And I did not want to kill off Chad or Tony. Mainly because I'm the type of person, I'm thinking like, okay, you might need them for something else. So if you kill them off, like something, like, it might hurt the story. Well, not hurt the story, but give you a bad ending. I ain't want bad ending. So, okay, so, one of the first things you need to do, especially in episode 3, but not one of the first things, but the thing to keep Chad and Tony alive, basically, when you go to the room, either you could pick, either you or Tony, you could pick whoever to read. But one of y'all reads from a book, and you have to remember the last 3 words. Here's the kicker. The last 3 words look like they are in some type of language. I kid you not. The words literally look like they was, like, I kid you not. I know it's like, I don't know if I can remember it. Either it was like Ventrokov or something like that. But like, that's what I'm saying. The words sound like they were from a different language. I kid you not. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I got to remember, and you got to remember these 3 words, because you're going to have to use these 3 words. I kid you not. And I'm thinking these 3 words are how you keep Chad alive. So in order to keep Chad alive, you got to remember these 3 words. Because yes, you're going to have to use these 3 words. And with Tony, with Tony, again, if I did not do the walkthrough, if I did not read it, I probably would have, but Tony would have been dead. Because, and also, by the way, about the 3 words, they are random. So, like, you can't get them on the walkthrough, but the walkthrough tells you that you have to remember the last 3 words in the books. And yes, it's right. I suggest, if you're not good with memorizing things, to take a picture, because that's what I did. But I was actually surprised at myself that I actually remember it. So I was like, oh, okay, but I'm still gonna take a picture, and I'm glad I took a picture of the next thing to save Tony, because in order to save Tony, you have to look at um a picture. Now the picture, the weapon, and the animal is going to change and things like that. For my picture, it was of a guy on a horse, and the weapon he had was a mace, and the animal that he was chasing was a boar. So, yeah, I had to remember that, and I'm glad I did, because that helped to get to Tony as fast as you can. Because I'm assuming if you choose the wrong one, you wasn't gonna get to Tony as fast as you can. Um, because Tony is basically, I think, what is seduced. Like, not only is he kind of drugged up a bit, but he's seduced by a succubus. And it's like, holy crap. I'm thinking like, oh my god. And that succubus goes after Chad as well. So I'm assuming that's what those words are for. Those words are for, like, when the succubus go after Chad, you say the words, and poof, the succubus is vanquished. And just when, because I'm gonna be honest, after I saved both of them, I I was like, whew. But then when my character goes back to, like, where Johnny and Professor Collins is at, she noticed that Courtney and Sue are not there. And so she's like, oh my goodness, where they went? And then Mr. Collins, he says, oh, you called them. And the crazy part is, well, not the crazy part, but we all know that our character did not call them at all. So the fourth episode is basically you having to save them as well. And I'm gonna be honest, saving them is actually much easier than saving Tony and Chad. Though, if I'm being honest, I think the only tricky thing about saving Sue and Courtney is that you have to save Sue before you save Courtney, because Courtney could be saved with or without your help, but Sue, she can't be saved without your help. She dies. So you actually need to save Sue first if you want to save both her and, if you want to save both her and Courtney. And also I want to say is that I also like how this story, you also play just a little bit of, well, you get a little bit of the other character's point of view, because in episode 3, while you are in a ballroom with Chad, Tony, again, it cuts to Tony in a room, and he sees a strange woman he never seen before. And at first, you thinking, oh, this is a pretty woman. Then all of a sudden she gets naked, and then all of a sudden when you refuse her, she becomes a monster. So it's like, I was like, well, damn. Okay. Same thing with Sue and Courtney. You have a moment where you are Sue in episode 4. You have a moment where you are Sue. You and Courtney, y'all getting lost and stuff. You come into a room, and Courtney accidentally drops, she accidentally knocks something, she accidentally knocks something down, and it's like a perfect, but it's not, well, not sound, but from what I read, it seems like it was like a lust perfume, because Sue and Courtney began to lust after each other, and you could choose to do the sex scene and stuff like that. However, I'm glad I was reading the walkthrough, because the walkthrough, it says that, like, warning, like, the sex scene will be, like, some of the sex scene will be kind of like consensual, meaning like someone is not going to consent to it, and it's like, yeah, we're not playing those games. We not. People need to consent to intimacy. So yeah, I was like, yeah, no, ain't nobody playing that. But I don't know what would have happened if I chose the. I want to know what would happen if I chose that route. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't choose that route, because I don't need to know what happened, especially if there's a part where it's gonna be non-consensual. I don't need to play that part. So yeah. Um, but overall, the book is very interesting. I'm not gonna lie, the book, there were sometimes I got kind of scared, especially because I wasn't. Look, I'm already the type of person, when it comes to horror, I get jump scared easily. So, there's a part where I chose to help Sue and Courtney just dash off. So, when I'm after I help Sue, it cuts to Courtney, and then you see Courtney and stuff like that, and then next thing you know, you see this monster just pops out of nowhere. And let me tell you, I was playing this on my tablet, and that monster was looking very huge. I didn't like it, and it was looking scary as well. I did not like it at all. I ain't gonna lie, I thought I was gonna kill Courtney. I really did, and stuff like that. But I'm glad I didn't. And um, I'm actually more intrigued. I can't wait until it comes out, until like the next two chapters comes out, and they come out in October. Mainly because how episode 4 ended. How episode 4 ends is basically Johnny. He's basically the stoner of the group. Um, how he, um, yeah, what happens is he decides to ask Mr. Collins some questions, and of course, it seems like Mr. Collins has some explaining to do, because he says something like, I he said something like along the lines of like, I hate that you had I hate that you asked, or I hate that it had to come to this, or something along those lines. So I'm assuming that, like, we're gonna get the truth about like Mr. Collins, or something about Mr. Collins. I don't know, but I'm actually more interested in it. Like, I'm actually excited for this story, even though it's horror. Excuse me, my throat. Also, with the first two chapters, it was good and stuff like that. They, like, it wasn't nothing like intriguing. It's like the first two chapters of, I mean, the first two episodes of this of Love, Sin, and Evil. Um, they was just regular two chapters. Nothing really interesting happened, except for like at the end of episode 2. That's that's like the only thing that happens. What else? Oh, I would also recommend, if you want to have like enough gems to buy like most of everything in the story, I suggest you play other games on here when there's a Diamond Rush event, or you could just play like this game on Diamond Rush event, but you won't get the choices that says like you could collect all of this and all of that and stuff like that. But however, if you want to collect everything, I would suggest waiting till the Diamond Rush event happens. Usually it happens around, I want to say like the 9th of a month and stuff like that. That's what I want to say. I mean, I feel like there is another time they do it, but it seems like it's kind of rare. So, well, not really rare, but what I want to say? I want to say like kind of not very rare, cause like it's like you could play it also like around the 30th, like basically at the end of a month. But anywho, um, I think this is a pretty interesting story. I, again, I was shocked. I was shocked at how like fun I was having with the story, and I kid you not, like I was freaking out when it came to like Sue and Courtney, because again, like especially with Sue, because the stuff it goes like there's stuff that's flying in the room, and you literally could see it flying. Like while you reading, you can see it flying. So it's like, okay, stuff is flying around. This ain't good. Not to mention, um, I'm just glad when it came to actually trying to help Sue, that like you like they did it in a simpler way, because I didn't think they was going to do it in a simple way. I thought they was going to kind of I thought it was going to kind of do it like Tony's, cuz with Tony's, again, like it was a portrait, but it was like in the background, and I'm gonna be honest, for me, like I wasn't gonna pay attention to that. So I was actually glad that saving Sue was a bit easy. I'm gonna be honest, Courtney was the most easiest, and I thought that was kind of effed up. I thought it was kind of messed up, because it's like, okay, so any of your love interests is gonna be hard as heck. But with Courtney, it was easy, because with her, let me tell you what hers was. All you had to do was sidestep, like every single time. Just keep sidestepping, just sidestepping. And I was like, that's not fair. How the hell Courtney get like the easiest thing ever, but everybody else is not easy? But whether it's easy or difficult, this book is still very interesting to like read and play. I enjoy it, even though it made my heart go boop 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 boop. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I thought I was gonna kill some of these people. I'm gonna be honest. Even when I was reading the walkthrough, I still thought I was gonna kill some of these people. I'm glad I didn't, but yeah. Um, Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment, especially if you also have read this. Let me know what you think. Also, tell me who your love interest is in this book, cause mine is Chad. I know I know on this one that I'm playing on this account, cause like I said, I have two. On this account, I decided to pick Tony. I had picked Mr. Collins at first, But I don't know about something about Mr. Collins gave me the ick, so I just went for Tony instead. And now I'm kind of actually happy that I went for Tony because I feel like Mr. Collins is up to no good. Like, I hope he's not, but I do feel like he's up to no good. But yeah, once again, let me know who y'all pick for y'all love interests. Also, if you decided not to pick a love interest, did you decide to romance Courtney? And if so, tell me about it. Um, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peeps. See ya.